Hey guys, so as you may or may not know, just a few weeks ago, Hasbro, the toy giant that already owns like G.I. Joe, Transformers, and a bunch of other brands, recently acquired Power Rangers from Saban. Now this is really big news. The Hasbro is taking under Power Rangers, or taking over Power Rangers rather. It's a massive franchise that has 25 years worth of history. And now Hasbro gets to acquire those rights and be able to utilize them in toys and a bunch of other stuff. But the most exciting news is that CEO Brian Goldner of Hasbro announced that they would be wanting to continue the franchise and explore more the movie side of the franchise because they feel it's very much underutilized, and they want to continue that. And that's great news for big Power Rangers fans like myself. Really exciting because I was actually a big fan of the 2017 Power Rangers, which you can find the review on my channel and plenty of other videos related to it. So I'm super excited. I would love the Power Rangers. I always have since I was a kid. Being able to know that they're going to 100% guarantee that they're going to be continuing the franchise in movie form excites me very much. Now, there's a kind of a different ways we can go here with this. Hasbro really has two options. Well, probably have more than that, but from what I can see, they have two options. They can either continue what they were going through with the 2017 movie, have that as an established base. They don't have to worry about starting all over again. It sort of already started only a year ago. So they already have the suit designs, they already have actors pretty much in place. They have all of these things sort of falling in place already set up for them, in which they can just continue on, build from there. They've already set up and established several things in the franchise that they can really utilize. They've already sort of set up Tommy. They've set up a couple of other things they can really explore. Zeo crystals. They can go a bunch of different directions continuing with the franchise that's already been established with last year's movie. Now, option number two is they start with a fresh, clean slate, and they don't even go back to that. They start with a brand new movie franchise, do whatever direction they want. They can do whatever costume designs, they can do whatever set designs, storylines, get new actors, whatever they want to do, they can start fresh. Now, this is going to be a lot costier for Hasbro, which they just spent like millions of dollars on this franchise. So I'm not sure if that's the direction they want to go quite yet. But the really cool thing that allows that is it's going to be adding that story franchise and being able to refresh it a little bit. Now, if I was happening to be running Hasbro at the moment, which of course I'm not, but if I was leaning on the side, personally I would lean on the side right now of going with what's already established, because it did well enough that it made its money back, but it didn't necessarily blow up the planet like Avengers Infinity War or anything like that as far as like merchandise and things like that. Which necessarily isn't a bad thing, but I feel like that they really could utilize that and play to that a lot more should they decide to go that route. And if I personally was running the show at Hasbro, I would think I had one of two decisions to make if we were starting and leaning towards that clean slate decision. First of all being, I would want to keep the original storyline going and continuing. Keep it centered around Jason, Kimberly, Zach, Trini, and Billy, and Tommy. Throw Tommy in there as well. And really sort of refresh the franchise, rebrand it a little bit. Not necessarily go exactly with what happened in 2017, but keep it a little bit more along the lines of the original. Go with something very much in line with the art of Carlos Dottoli, who actually is a fantastic artist. He has an awesome Instagram page, and his art for the Power Ranger suits are very reminiscent of the classic suits, but kind of give it a refresh that this looks like something that's kind of unique and fresh at the same time. So he has awesome artwork of Power Rangers, and I think that he would be a great example to follow if they decided to just sort of refresh the brand, but still keep it at the core of where it started. And then option number two is that they completely kind of ignore that, but also go with still those original Rangers, but they go with something much more original and groundbreaking, kind of like what the comics are doing with the Shattered Grid storyline. I feel like that would be a very, very good point to go from, because you have a lot of different things you can do. Obviously, we're going to still have the core team, which is something that I think is very important when you're establishing this franchise. But also, I feel like by doing that, you can go in all sorts of different directions. In the comic books right now, they're utilizing storylines from in space, Time Force, Samurais getting utilized. There's so many different franchises that are being used in the Shattered Grid franchise. I mean, you start with that core, but then you establish that really in the first movie, I think, with the Shattered Grid storyline, and then you can branch out with how the comics are progressing. And with the comics always being a step ahead, you can always use those story influences and be able to utilize those. And I think that's one of the perfect things that I think that Hasbro can do by refreshing the brand, is following in those footsteps while keeping the nods and things to the original, but also expanding, adding this new fresh story idea that really no franchise is doing right now, and it's very different from that classic sort of superhero franchise storyline. I think it's just a great storyline to utilize to be able to bring fans in, both old and new. Fans of the comics, fans of the movies, fans of the original TV show, you name it. They can all sort of unite and even have influences from what's going on currently on TV, so kids are going to be interested in it. It just brings a lot of good things if they decide to go with that Shattered Grid franchise, which I think would be very, very tempting for me if I was running things at Hasbro. But those are just my opinions. Overall, I'm really excited that they're going to start making more movies. Hopefully they're going to start shooting soon, because they use pretty young actors for the 2017 movie, so obviously they're going to start moving on, have more projects, things like that. So you got to get the ball rolling quick if you want to go ahead and continue with those characters. But I'm really interested in letting the Hasbro sort of figure out what they want to do. I want to, either way, my butt's going to be in the seat for the next Power Ranger movie. That's without a doubt. But I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are. What do you think Hasbro should do with the brand? Should they continue with the franchise, what's already been established, go with something new? Did you think of something that I haven't thought of yet? Please feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. But other than that, that's all I really have for now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.